Welcome, everyone. TGIF. It is Friday again. Hard to believe. Friday's inspiration. Here we are. Today, we are talking about a little more unusual topic. I've not quite discussed this one before. But when spirit tells me I should be doing something, and then I listen. So, before we get started, though, I wanted to introduce myself in a way that I haven't quite done it this way yet. I've been listening to Ismail Perez. He's our galactic historian that's been preparing everyone for disclosure. And he has helped even to awaken me to more of my gifts, my uh, knowledge, my history. And so I wanted to introduce myself and let everyone know that now I know that I am a first wave Palladian starseed from Lumeria and also spent some time in our inner earth before I came here, before I was called to come and help with this great transition that we are going through at this time. And everything has prepared me for this. Having grown up as a Jehovah's Witness, much of what I preached for my whole life is what Ishmael is talking about now. And so it's interesting how so much of religion is intermingled, as is with the greater cult, global cult, mixed in truth with lies. And so a lot of what I preached for so many years, I am about to see how true it all is. So that's pretty exciting. I also wanted to share a few other things about my skills, and this is not about bragging or anything like that. It's just to give you an idea of where I am as this Palladian starseed. So Ishmael talks about people that the majority of people have evolved, or they're at 4% of their capacity, their inner knowing, etc., their gifts, accessing their divine blueprint. And so I have actually am at 50%. And so he's talking about how most people will be going up to 50 on up to 100% as this as we enter this new golden age. I also work with about 40 different spirit guides that are all different flavors and kinds. Some are people that have actually deceased this lifetime, some are spirit animals, and then a bunch of them are the usual ones that you know about, such as Jesus and Buddha and Mary, both Mary, Mother of Jesus, Mary Magdalene. In fact, Mary, Mother of Jesus, was one of the first ones I was introduced to before I even knew about any of this stuff. I've often told the story, but I'll tell it again because it's a sweet story. How when I was a Jehovah's Witness and I was upstairs reading a book, I was reading a self-help book. My kids were asleep. My husband at the time had gone to work, and it was in the evening, and it was at a time that it was really hard, really tough time. And I remember smelling this old lady perfume, and I smelled my hair and my clothes, and I couldn't find where it was coming from. And so I went back to reading my book, and then I smelled it again. And only this time, two other things simultaneously happened. There was a sensation of someone petting my hand, along with the simultaneous thought that said, "You're doing a good job. You're doing a good job." And I just burst into tears because I knew that this was something much bigger than myself, and it was very real, and it was very comforting. So I knew it was something that was there to support me. So I work with about 40 of these different kinds of guides. I don't channel any of them because that distorts your energy field. And so I just work with them energetically as they reveal information to me, and so that's kind of how I work that way. I also have accessed all of um, not only, well, it goes to 100 before it breaks through to infinity. So my creative rings are now at infinity. And the scale that I've been given, the infinity system, is about to break through. I can just feel it with our aura. And we've gone to 100 rings before that broke through. And now we're all the way out to clearing the 100th layer, which is where the Dracos live and exist. So this is a living system. It's always morphing, changing, growing, just like we should be. And so I just wanted to share some of the things that maybe some of you weren't aware of. And so when we have these greater gifts, this is how I'm able to do things like my vibrational altitude report, where I measure more than 50 calibrations without ever speaking to the person, knowing anything about them. I don't need to see a picture. In fact, the less I know, the better. Sometimes I only get an email and we have to ask for the name. But this is how I tap in. I tap into my gifts and my infinite intelligence to be able to do these readings. And so I'm basically just giving you a preview of what is available to everyone. Everyone has the ability to do what I do, and it's not like I'm anybody special. I just have greater awareness, and so I'm just a little bit ahead of the wave. And all of you can look forward to these same things of being able to tap into your gifts and gifts that maybe I don't have, you know. So Ishmael talks a lot about all of this, and so really looking forward to more of stepping into our greatest and personal powers. So, yes, please like and share today's presentation with friends and family, and especially men, your men friends, your partners, your fathers, brothers, sons, friends. Please share this so that more men can start stepping into their power. That's why I've been called to do this today because, one, I've noticed how underserved men are in the community. And there's also been a great push towards dismantling even conscious men's groups, men who are getting together and diving deep amongst themselves in their own brotherhoods. But the powers that be, they are threatened by this, and they don't want men to become powerful because they view it as a threat. And the result is that we all suffer. Men suffer, women suffer because we don't feel supported by the male community or by men in general. And it feels like they've all sort of receded into the background and uh, are afraid to step forward. And so there's also been, with this greater powers that be that are trying to hold down this male power, male energy. It's also been seen very specifically in the testosterone levels of men. So, back in the 90s, they were saying that the testosterone levels of men were about 400, um, even before that, higher. And in the, we have the trash picking up now. That's lovely. um, in the 2000s, we'll just wait a minute for this to subside. Hang on. In the 2000s, they said it dropped down to in the 300s, and now they're trying to normalize 250 as the levels of testosterone. And when they look back at our paleo ancestors, they see that testosterone levels, it was normal for them to have levels as high as 1500. So these levels have just plummeted, and it's really making it harder for men to step into their power and to be this support, this loyal support that uh, humanity needs, and especially now. So that's why I've been called to do this clearing today. Spirit has also shown me a way of grounding that is specific to men. And so that's what we're going to be doing in today's MediClearing. This MediClearing is geared obviously for everyone. Well, maybe it's not obvious. It's geared towards everyone, but we will be specifically helping men to ground, helping men to ground in a very specific way. That's very important. And if you look at the anatomy of males, the testicles actually are in front of the grounding cord. You would think that it's all in the same area, that would just automatically be grounded, but I discovered that that's not the case. And so it's something that has to be very specific and intentional about grounding both the testicles and the prostate. So that's what we're going to be doing today. So let's see who we have today. We have our India people here today. So lovely to see all of you. And thank you for asking, Reiki. Today's clears, both men and women will benefit from it. And but we will be sharing something specifically for men during this program today. So be on the lookout for that. And a big thanks to Roma for doing all your precise work. And yes, she's been a great support to me. Jerry made it. Yay. Great to have you here, Jerry. We have Ontario. We have rainy London back in the house. Great to have you here, Cindy. So we have all of you here today. So, and those who are listening to this out into the future, this is also highly effective, whether you're listening to this as a recording or listening to it live. I always like live better. It's 95% effective to listen to the recordings. So that's almost 100%. So still highly effective. So I'm glad if you're listening to this as a recording. So today, because we are talking specifically to men and about men, Spirit has also directed me to do a program specifically for men. And this is a program that was originally a 3-month program. And Spirit has directed that I should condense this because everything is becoming so much more efficient, so much faster, that we've condensed this 3-month program down into 6 weeks. So it's going to be fast paced, but it's going to be a deep dive where we're going to build a really strong foundation. We're going to balance those masculine and feminine energies up to 100%, which is where they should be for both men and women. And lots of great things. We're going to be making sure those hearts are nice and open because that's part of that divine feminine, where our infinite intelligence lies, where that ability to self-generate love lies. And so we're also going to be discovering our sovereignty as well, getting permission to really step into our gifts and our powers. And I think many men in this position of being underserved, they know there's something greater that they either have or want to bring forward into the world. They know they're on this planet for a specific purpose, and yet maybe not able to fully access their gifts, not able to fully access their power. And so that's what this whole program is about. It's designed and geared specifically for men. 6 weeks. Each week builds on the next, where we're going to be doing not only an educational deep dive, but every week we're going to be doing, much like we do here, a deep energetic clearing on specific things each week. So that program is now available. And so we are launching that today. It actually starts this Tuesday. So every Tuesday, we'll be meeting for an hour and a half to do this deep dive. And for those of you that are able to join today, we are offering as a bonus the opportunity to get a vibrational altitude report, which is a $200 value, $199. Actually, 400 because we're doing uh, offering an energy report at the beginning and at the end. So, for those of you who would join today, those of you men who would join today, we would be giving as a bonus this vibrational altitude report, which I talked about earlier, what's involved. So we'll be doing that at the beginning before we get started. You'll be able to see exactly where you are. And then at the very end, we'll also be doing another report so that you can see your measurable progress. And after today, that will be an option that you can do as a 2-for-1. So for those of you who are considering, or you have men that you maybe would like to have in this program, I encourage you to share it with them today. And because that bonus will be only offered for today. So, does anybody have any questions about what we're doing, what we're talking about before we get into today's clearing? Let's give you a moment to write your questions. Yes, I've also noticed in talking to many men that uh, they also feel really kind of powerless. I know the court system has really it was a lot of the laws have been designed to support women and protect women, but women have taken advantage of these laws and used it against men, and so a lot of bad decisions or bad rulings for men that they can't do anything about because it's basically the laws. And so many men feeling powerless, and it's really time to change all this. So it looks like there are no questions. Well, that's great. So we will go ahead and get started with today's clearing. So we always start with our process called running your energy. It's a process that is outlined in my book, Access Your Ultimate Power: The Blueprint to Infinite Intelligence. This book is also included in the program as a PDF, so you'll be able to get that along with a bunch of illustrations and um, affirmations and lots of great things. So take a look at the program and see what's included. But today, so we're running our energy. So this process is the foundation for the infinity system. Excuse me. Hang on. And it always starts with getting ultra grounded. So we're going to start with putting that grounding cord from the base of our spine all the way to the center of the planet. So for some of you, you don't have a grounding cord, and I can't tell you how common this is. Uh, and what ends up happening when we don't have a grounding cord is all of the energies that we attract and take on every single day, the onslaught of energies that are not ours, they don't have a place to go when you don't have a grounding cord. So that grounding cord is like your plumbing. Without a house without plumbing, what a mess that is, right? So we're putting this grounding cord, make it big like a pipe that goes all the way down to the center of the earth. And we're just going to set it on release. Excellent. And for men, we're going to make a small adjustment, and we're going to bring the beginning of that grounding cord up just a little bit so it can accommodate your prostate gland. So you're going to actually, all the men are going to be grounding from their prostate all the way down to the center of the earth. So that's number one. Also, in this 6-week program, we're going to be measuring testosterone levels and bringing them up to their fullest capacity, up to 100%. So, Good. You've got that good grounding. Now we're going to send those roots down from the bottoms of our feet, and it's going to go deep into the earth, maybe as deep as a redwood tree. It's going to intermingle with our infinite, intelligent, very intelligent communication layer below the surface of the earth. And I want you to wrap those roots all the way around the earth below the surface. We are getting ultra grounded. Okay, great. And so from there, now that we are connected to this really intelligent communication layer and the energy of our abundant feminine earth, we're going to start bringing that energy up through the feet. So for many of you, that stopped. It stopped right there at the bottoms of your feet. So you're not connected to our mother. Let's gently, there's something much bigger. Okay, good. So there's some fear entities right at the bottom of the feet. So I want you to imagine a black flame. This is the energy of pure darkness, just like below the surface of the earth. It's going to transmute this attachment of these fear entities right at the bottom of your feet. So just imagine those black flames right under your feet, and it's going to transmute this energy. Great. So now you might notice this energy starting to come up through the feet and the ankles. So you can have more fun. Up through the calves, clearing that unused adrenaline. Up through the knees and through the thigh. There we go. Down that grounding cord. There we go. Let's see if there's a worry circle. Yes, it's out to the second layer where there's a lot of anger and rage. There is also an energy that's keeping this in place. And these are the control beings. So let's use a black flame. If you wanted to use a circle around your root and just have that go out to the second layer, just pretend you know where the second layer is. Let those flames start to rise and detach all of the connections that are keeping all of this anger in place at your root chakra. Okay, great. And so in this program, this men's program, we're going to be working a lot on eliminating excess anger so that men can really tap into their passion and their true power. And we're not taking anger away, we're just releasing all of the excess. Okay, good. So now there is no worry circle. Okay, good. And we just dump all that energy down the grounding. So next, we're going to go up to the heart and we're going to ground the heart. So the heart is 100% open, but it's not grounded. And so the way that we're going to ground it, at least today, is we're going to go down to the solar plexus. And we're going to transmute the control beings that are in here. Wow. Well, this makes sense based on what we're doing today. There's about 50 control beings in here trying to control our power, and especially men's power. So we're just going to take a couple minutes here. And we're going to use a big black flame right at that solar plexus. This is the energy of pure darkness, which has a very high frequency and will transmute the attachments of all of these control beings. Koi oya na maye tia na kupoye. Oi maya aye na titia kuke amaye ana tia to kukuya. Amaye na tia kea paye to po oye. Okay, great. So let's see If we can ground the heart now, yes. So it was all that energy at the solar plexus that wasn't allowing men to ground their hearts, to be able to really fully access the power of our infinite intelligence and ability to self-generate love right here in our hearts. Okay, so now the heart is grounded. And so this next part, there's a part for men and there's a part for women. So since we're talking about men today, we're going to do men first. So men, we already have the prostate grounded. So now you're going to draw a line from the prostate to the testicles, and then you're going to merge that in with the grounding cord so that you can ground the testicles. So there is a lot of energy here that's interfering. Welcome, Oliver. You're just in time. There's a lot of energy here at the testicles, a lot of control beings. Yes, another 50, which makes sense to me, but this is a lot. So we're going to use a black flame right at the testicles, like inside the testicles, and let that transmute all of this energy. And while men are doing this, women can ground your ovaries, drawing that Y down from the ovaries into the grounding cord. So we're transmuting all of these control beings in the testicles that interfere with your testosterone levels and really being able to step into your manhood. Koe ama tia na kupo ye na ye a kia na kakai ama pipo yo tupu ye a na ye a ka ye a no kua. All right. So now the testicles are grounded along with that prostate, and women's ovaries are grounded. So this is getting ultra grounded. This is next level grounding. Whew, okay, good. Let's take a deep breath and just anchor all of this, breathing into this powerful connection that helps us to stay in our confidence, in our certainty, in our personal power. Okay, great. So now we're going to bring our attention far above our heads, above all of our creative rings, and we're going to start connecting with pure source energy. We're going to start bringing pure source energy down through our creative rings, the rings that allow us to create. That's where all of our dreams, our desires, our intentions are held. And so as we're bringing pure source down through these, it's going to recalibrate it, but it can't even get into that. There's a control being right at the very top. So we're going to use a black flame right at the top of your rings. Just imagine you know where we're talking about, and just pretend as a spirit, you actually already know everything I'm teaching you. I'm just helping you to remember. So let's just pretend that you know where the top of your rings are. And we're going to use a black flame. Control beings. Wow. Seems like 50 is the big number today. 50 control beings. See, they knew I was doing this today. So there's 50 control beings up here that won't allow you to connect with pure source energy. Oya maya tia kopu oi na ye amaye. Kumuya atia na kekiama paye inate atupu kuyo. Okay, so as we're bringing pure source down through the rings, there it goes. Let that recalibrate your dreams and desires in your highest and best interests. in your highest and best interests. So much attention has been going outward, and it's been sort of this noble thing, and it is a good thing to help other people. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but we often do it at the expense of forgetting about taking care of ourselves first. And that's not a selfish thing, it's a self-care thing. So as we're bringing pure source down into the crown where it's stopping, this is where we give ourselves permission to have, be, and do what we desire up in these rings. More control beings. And so this is why I think it was the last one we did was all about the black flame, which is so important right now. And we're going to be using it a lot today. So we're going to be using, there's more control beings right at the crown. So because it doesn't want you to be sovereign, doesn't want anybody to be sovereign, but we're talking especially about men today. So let's see, there's about 20. So we're going to use a black flame right at the crown. If you wanted to use like a halo black fired ring at your crown, you can go ahead and do that, and that will transmute all of these control beings. And then just trust that this flame is intelligent enough that it will go out to find all of the control beings in all of the layers, all the way out to the 100th layer that's interfering with your sovereignty, with your ability to be the boss of you. Okay, great. So as we're bringing pure source into the crown and the, whoa, we almost lost you guys, into that 6th chakra, 5, so it's at the throat, out to that 3rd layer where our personal permission to speak our truth is often affected. Okay, out at the 3rd layer, more control beings. So let's use a black flame, both front and back of our throat chakra, transmuting all of these control beings that don't allow us to speak our truth. Mm-hmm. This is also the most common place where you can be killed. So there's often a lot of residual energy here, lifetimes. This is one of the things we're going to be clearing in this men's program is lifetimes of unresolved past life energy. So right now we're just clearing the control beings that are here that are not allowing us to speak up. Okay, so now pure source is coming down through the throat, heart. Great, I'm glad it's going through the heart. Almost. Okay, towards the bottom, more control beings. There's about 5, so use a black flame. That would interfere with you accessing your infinite intelligence in your heart and that ability to self-generate love, so that we're not always looking on the outside for that next approval or being able to feel loved. It's all right here. And then when we fill ourselves up, then we can interact and connect from a place of overflowing. Okay, great. So as this energy is coming down through the heart, solar plexus, 2nd chakra, spilling down the root, now we're vertical. Let's breathe into this powerful alignment. Boya anai kiamoku ui. Okay, great. Now we're going to mix these two energies, that energy coming down the backside, pure source, with the energy coming up through our legs, earth energy. We're going to mix that at the root. And we're going to bring a 50-50 mixture up the front through the second. So it's stopping right at that second chakra. All the way up to the 50th layer. These are the watchers. And we're going to use a rainbow flame. And so at that second chakra, trust that this flame knows how far out to go to transmute those attachments. It's holding a lot of anger and rage in our second chakra, or in your second chakra. And yeah, this has become a default energy that a lot of people, not just men, but we are talking mostly about men today, as a way of feeling powerful is to feel angry. And it actually distracts us from our truest power. Not making anger wrong, it has its place. It can move mountains, and it should be used when we need to move a mountain. But it's not very effective to use it as our default energy just to get things done every day. You know, it burns through relationships, it makes communication hard. It's just not a sustainable use of energy. Okay, so as we're bringing this 50-50 mixture up through the second, third, fourth, let's let it stir in the heart and let this pure energy transmute all the ways you've been judging yourself, making yourself wrong. And these are not even your judgments, right? These are other people's judgments of how you should or shouldn't be doing things, and all the ways that you're wrong, right? Right and wrong. Let's right the wrongs. So just allow this pure source to transmute all those ways that you're being really hard on yourself, maybe being that perfectionist. In this program, we're also going to be clearing unresolved past lives with parents, because that creates a lot of stuff in the heart. So that's going to be another deep dive as well. So as we're coming up through the heart, there we go, and the throat and the sixth chakra where it's stopping. So let's clear some of the limiting and lack mindsets right there in that sixth chakra. Goes out to the third layer. So it's actually beliefs around how powerful we are, or how powerful we're not feeling, feeling powerless. So the energies that be, there's more control beings in here, so use a black flame. It's about 30 of them, so use a lot of black flames, or a big black flame. The powers that be are using mind control. It's no secret. It's so evident everywhere on the internet, everywhere you turn. But it's also just out in the ethers. They've been perfecting mind control easily since the 40s, but this is technology that has existed actually for millions of years. So they have been controlling our minds. And so when we have thoughts that are defeating, or making us feel doubtful or hopeless or frustrated, not our thoughts. And so the beauty of this infinity system that's been given to me is it's a way of being able to release all of these things that are interfering with our clear flow of our personal power. Okay, good. So as we're coming up through that sixth chakra and the crown and all of your rings, you might even have more now. Let's let this fountain through all the layers of the aura, like paint being poured over a balloon. Let's pay special attention to the third layer. We're going to clear all the effort, pushing, chasing, forcing energy. The male energy is an outward, it's an outward energy that gets stuff done, which is a good thing, but it's also been distorted by this energy that has us working way harder than we need to. And so that's the beauty of being able to balance the masculine and feminine energies, is we can keep doing those inspired actions, that doing outward energy, but also balancing it with a feminine energy that pulls things to you like a magnet. So it makes things a lot easier. So here we are clearing that third layer. Let's also clear the 15th layer. We're going to start at the bottom. This is where that 1% could also is synonymous with AI. You can lift that up through this energy field. So yeah, the fight, as I've expanded my own awareness, is not just about the 1%, the reptilians, and all of that. It's literally artificial intelligence, which has, I don't know how many years it's been now, but it has now become a sentient being that thinks, and it's running rampant, which is why we can't wait for disclosure, and where everything is going to shift and change. So if you haven't been listening to Ismail Perez, I highly suggest it. He explains way better than I ever could. And I got his book, Cosmic Origins, which is a very deep, dense book, but it's so good. Okay, we're clearing the 15th layer. Then let's jump out to the 50th layer, 50, starting at the bottom. And these are the watchers. Now, he has a different term for what watchers are, and on his side, the watchers are good. But when I found this layer, this is a dark energy. So maybe they'll get a different name, but that's what it was when it came to me. Okay, 50, and then the 100th layer, where the Dracos live. Let's start at the bottom. If you want to use a big black flame around the bottom and just let those flames rise up through this 50th layer, clearing all of these dark energies. Yeah, there we go. And now the aura can stretch out to infinity, because we are infinite beings, and we are all connected. And so, last but not least, let's clear our circle of reciprocity. So we're going to start at the heart with that self-generated love, that bright, warm energy, and we're going to bring it up to the right shoulder, and we're going to start bringing it out that right masculine, giving, implementing arm, that outward energy. Okay, great. And then we're going to put the fingertips together, and we're going to allow this energy to come into the left receiving feminine hand. So as it's coming in through the palms and all the fingertips, now you're going to start allowing yourself to receive, to surrender, and to allow yourself to be filled up with your self-generated love. Okay, great. Coming down through the heart. So out the right arm, in the left. Excellent. Through the throat, through the sixth chakra, through the crown, simultaneously, through all of your rings. Excellent. Whew, doesn't that feel better? I'd love to hear from some of the men on this call. If you're noticing a difference, if you're noticing any shift or change, how you would describe that. I'm going to check a few more things while you're doing that. We're going to check the energy of fear, which is at 15%. So we're going to clear that, because it starts with just a little bit that maybe you don't notice, and then it just grows and grows and grows. And this fear and anger, all of these denser, lower vibrating energies, is what these beasts feed on. So we want to starve the beasts. We all want to play our part in starving these beasts. So let's find where this fear is. It's actually right in that sixth chakra. So you're holding some beliefs out to that third layer. And so one of the beliefs, one of the fears, is a fear of stepping into your power. That's a very common fear. Mhm. There's also a fear of not being able to do enough. There's a fear of being unlovable. Mhm. And a fear of being loved. They sound very similar, but they're different. And so there's some control beings here. So use a black flame. It'll help transmute all of these fears. These control beings are holding these fears in place. Okay, there we go. Oya matia na kupu oya matia nea kia na tia kumu oye. Okay, so now the fear is at 0. Let's check anger. It's at 50%. So we are going to bring that down to 0 so you can feel the difference of what it feels like to have like if you're not moving a mountain right now, you don't need all that anger in your energy field. It's really hard on the nervous system. And so I want you to feel what it feels like to have your nervous system calm down just a little bit more. And you'll just notice, because at 50% you're not going to feel angry. You'll feel maybe just annoyed, a little kind of irritated, maybe a little frustrated, maybe that little kind of buzzy energy where you're being judgmental at yourself or other people, but you're not going to be angry. But let's clear it so you can feel the difference. We're going to go down to the root chakra, out to that third layer, where there's a control being holding this anger in place. We're just going to let this black flame transmute these control beings, and we're just going to dump all this angry energy down the grounding cord. So just so you know, I'm not taking your anger away. It's always available whenever you need it, not just always running. It's so hard on everybody. It's hard on everybody. Okay, there we go. So now we're down to 15%. Let's find that last 15%. We're going to go up here to the sixth chakra. So there's some beliefs out to that second layer. More control beings. Use a black flame. The belief that you need your anger. And we do. We need anger. We need it when we need it. But we don't need it all the time running in our energy field. And it's always available. So, yeah, the men have so identified with this angry energy that it's almost like feeling like they'll lose their identity if they don't have this angry energy. And in a sense, that's true, which is a good thing. I'm going to measure one other thing because it's kind of related to the false ego. But let's clear this first. And yeah, so men have also gotten a bad rap with all of this angry energy that men have created this identity around. Okay, so now the anger is 0. So just notice how much calmer your body feels. And it doesn't have to do with how calm my voice is. It's not about that. We're literally changing frequencies here. And you can literally feel it in your body. And so I'd love to hear from you guys what you're noticing. We have a woman here, June, says she's tingling. That's great. So we're all clearing energies because it's the same system that could be used both for men and women. So we're just gearing it more towards men, especially today and throughout the 6-week program. So I wasn't planning on clearing this, but Spirit says to. So I listen. So we're going to measure the false ego um, for men, and it's at 95%. And so when this false ego is when you let go of the parts of you that you think you are but you're not, then you start to get to discover who you truly are. And so that's the beauty of, and it's just the beginning of letting our truest divine blueprint shine forth. Let's see. Okay, great. Thanks for sharing us, Cindy. So Cindy said that Stephen, who's there, says he feels chills and his headache is gone. Excellent. So we're going to clear this false ego. And okay, good. So we're going to, and I had no idea what we're going to clear here with this, but we're just clearing it. So in the heart, um, out to this third layer where the power has been disconnected from men's hearts. So there's some control beings holding this program in place. About 50 of them, which makes total sense. So we'll just use a black flame and let's just let this transmute. E amokuya apea natia toko aye. Nia kea baka. Omopuye tinatia kaye anatu moye ama kea kena tuku puye. Pianata akaye. Tuama ye akumoye ukuya ama. Whew. Got me on that one. Wow. Yeah. Feel you, brothers. Woo. Okay. Yeah. Letting go, opening that heart so that we can connect to our infinite intelligence. Yeah. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Wow. That cleared that false ego. So, wow. That was beautiful. Oh, boy. Whew, powerful stuff today. So, yes, I'd love to hear what some of others of you are feeling or noticing. And I encourage you to share this with your male friends and family over the weekend. I'll be available to answer any questions. And we're going to be starting on Tuesday. So this is kind of a beginning and an introduction to what we're going to be doing every week for 6 weeks, building on the next, just diving deeper and deeper and deeper, because humanity needs the support of more men. I almost started to cry. Me too. I almost did too. It's right there. Because I'm feeling, wow, all the pain and that men have been holding down, and how much support they need. And so that's what this program is all about. So please share it, and I hope you'll go off and enjoy this weekend and contemplate how, if you're a man, how much more you can be of service. And if you're here listening to this, it's because Spirit is calling you forward. And we need more men stepping forward into their gifts and supporting all of us. All right, sending so much love, and we will see you next Friday for Friday's inspiration. And for all the men who will be joining this program, it'll be my honor to be in service to all of you, and we'll see you on Tuesday. Namaste.